Hey guys, Woods Farm here. Just back working on the Kubelwagen. Last video I was just working on some of the electrical, and I'm continuing with that. I'm waiting for parts to show up. I gotta order some stuff from Amazon. So in the meantime, I'm gonna work on this box. I talked about it in a previous video, but there's gonna be a little box here. It'll have a little door, and behind it will be the relays and the fuse panel. So what I'm doing now is I'm just devising a mounting system. Again, I want this to be really versatile. I want to be able to kind of unbolt things and reconfigure it. So I'm just going to do a couple little mounting brackets. 2 at the top and probably 1 at the bottom. And they'll be fairly discreet. And I'll be able to unbolt the box and do something different down the road if I want. That's the bottom mounting point. Just gotta weld it from the top. I've got it tacked on the bottom. I didn't have really good ground, and my overhead welding sucks, so it's pretty gnarly. But I should be able to get a good bead on it from the top here. Okay, that's what the box looks like all finished up. There's a set screw that screws into the top to secure it. The door folds down, gives you access. You can see the fuse box mounted there. There's also going to be some relays, maybe the flasher for the signal lights will be in there. And you just close it up. So that's it. Okay, so I'm just back out working on the Kubel. Last I left, I finished up that box for the fuse panels. And over the last couple days, I've just been doing a lot of head scratching and just a lot of standing out here staring at this thing, kind of brainstorming to see where I'm going. And I've also been doing a lot of research on the electrical. And that little box is not sufficient to hold all the wiring I'm going to need. So I have some parts on order. I have another little fuse panel, wire, a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm kind of stuck right now. I don't have much to do, but I got to come up with a solution of where to deal with the rest of this wiring, particularly potentially another bank of fuses that I'm probably going to have to use, and also 2, 3, maybe 4 relays all have to get mounted. So I played around with the idea of just mounting it on the firewall, but as you can see, I already have, you know, the master cylinder reservoir, the brake fluid reservoir is down there. The fuel tank is going to be an issue eventually with clearances. Plus, I kind of want to keep all the wire in the same sort of area, right? So it's all kind of compact. So what I'm going to do is this framework here is where the the hood's going to sit on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another layer of sheet metal below, and there'll be a 1-inch kind of void. And what that'll allow me to do is I'll be able to use self-tapping screws and clips and whatnot, and I'll be able to mount the wiring and the relays and all the other electrical components onto that panel. And it'll be right over top of the dash panel and the speedometer, the gauges, and it'll be right over top and beside the box that's going to hold the main fuse panel. So I need to rig up something that I can, it'll more or less be permanent, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld on a cross piece and have a couple of mounting points, and then I'll put a little piece of I think 7x11 sheet steel. It's going to get mounted in here, and hopefully that gives me enough real estate to mount all the components, the relays, the flasher, you know, the signal light flasher, all that kind of stuff needs a place to go. Okay, so there's the plate just kind of fit in place. Now I have to just go back and weld these mounting tabs and weld these bolts. And what that'll allow you to do is this plate will be removable. Not that you're going to actually take it out. And you can see there's just a void here, about a 1-inch gap, and that void will be between the hood, the exterior sheet metal, and it'll give you just enough clearance to have self-tapping screws through this sheet metal that will mount all the components on the underside. And then you'll be able to access that stuff by either removing the instrument panel or just reaching up underneath. You'll be able to get to the stuff if you have to do maintenance. There's my dash components all painted up. So still waiting for some parts, but I'm going to start doing some more of the wiring. So I've been working on some of my own wiring diagrams, and I figured just to mock this up, what I'm going to do is make a wooden kind of template, and all the components I'll be able to screw in onto this wooden base, and then wire everything together and kind of plan it out. And that way, if I kind of make a mistake or I have to move something around, I can do that, and then I'll be able to get it all wired up and Once that's done and I'm satisfied, I'll be able to go back and transfer everything over to the actual dash components. Okay, so I just done some painting and working on the dash. Kind of been all over the place the last couple weeks, working on different things. I got the pedal cluster back in, made a little bracket to hold the brake and the clutch pedal. So I think that's going to be good. So I've been all over the place the last week, kind of working on odds and ends, trying to get things done based on the materials and the parts that I have. I went back and revisited this pedal cluster. Right down there you can see there's a little stop bracket, and I had purchased one, and it just wasn't quite working because it wasn't tall enough to catch the edge of the brake and the clutch pedal. So I made one. I should have just made one to begin with, and I also added a little tab on the side that gives you a real positive point to affix the brake return spring to. So everything seems good. I've read that you need a little bit of play in the brake pedal in the rod. I don't quite know how much, but if you see that right there, that's me just starting to put pressure on the piston in the master cylinder. And then so there's about that much. I want to say that's about ½ an inch. Anyways, if you have any experience with setting up the brakes, let me know what you think. If I need to increase or decrease the rod play, let me know in the comments below. So I finally got around to ordering some steel to start fabricating the back end. I went back over the last couple nights and been studying the photographs and looking over measurements and the plans that I sort of had laid out. So I've got a better idea of where I'm going with the back end. For now, I've just been puttering away on these dash parts, the fuse box, and then the plate to hold all the wiring components underneath the dash. So I just got a huge order in from Amazon.com, a whole bunch of electrical parts, wiring stuff. So I'm going to actually wire up as much of the dash as I can and get the main wiring harness sorted out. I'm not going to be able to wire things like the brake lights and the headlights until more of the body is completed and I get those parts. But I kind of want to have all the wiring kind of in place and ready to go. And that's the next thing I'll be working on in the next video. And after that, I'm going to get back to some fabrication on the back end and the body panels. Anyways, thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, comment below if you have any ideas, suggestions, questions, let me know. Thanks.